In this video, we'll be looking at how to set targets and stop losses. Now before we can begin, let us start with an introduction to risk management. One of the common things that all successful traders do is that they are able to cut losses and let their profits run. Now this sounds easy, but it's actually very difficult in practice. In fact, historical data actually shows us that although the Euro-USD trades are actually usually closed at a profit 61% of the time, the actual loss of traders was 70% more than their winnings. This actually shows us that traders have a tendency to close their trades the moment they are in profit, whereas they tend to let their losing trades run for way too long. So here we'll set two main rules that you will have to follow. Rule number 1 of risk management is to always seek a bigger reward than the loss that you are willing to risk. Now this is what we commonly refer to as our risk-reward ratio. And in essence, if you are risking 50 pips in a hope of gaining 50 pips, you would have a risk-reward ratio of 1:1. If however, you wish to risk 40 pips in order to gain 80 pips, your risk-reward ratio here is 1:2. Now regardless, always make sure that your risk-reward is more than 1:1, as this will help you to make long-term and consistent profits. Risk management rule 2 is to always have hard stops and targets in place. This means that you should already have stop orders and limit orders in place as you enter into the trade. If you are following rule 1, you should have already had proper risk reward in place, and the challenge now is to stick to it. Since the tendency is to hold on to losses and taking profits too early, it is necessary for you to remove your emotions from your trading, and hence always remember to set your stops and targets at the beginning of your trade, as you would identify them prior to entry. I'll now show you on how to decide your targets and stop losses. Now the first thing to set will usually be your stop loss. Now look at the setup, and assuming that we are going to go short at it at resistance line R1, our stop loss will always be the closest resistance line or support line to this entry level. Hence in this case, it will be right over here. The next thing that you will look at is this number over here, which is your average daily range. And since it's 102 pips, look to set your target as close to 102 pips as possible. So when we mark it on our chart from our entry point, we're actually able to see that it is closest to this line, and hence we'll be using this level as the target. So there you have it. Setting stop loss and targets for this system is really simple. In our next video, I'll teach you how to use our checklist method in order to analyze the trades that you are about to enter into. Thanks guys, and I'll see you in the next video.